I have intended to be on here like 3 different times today, and all things in divine timing. I believe that. And also, I'm happy to be here now. It's been such an interesting experience getting aligned with getting on here. Happy to be on here now. We are talking about today really what it is to feel like nothing's working. And I also just want to bring some awareness to those of us, myself included, who have had an interesting time lately. Things have been a little bit wonky, and you might be feeling stuck and maybe even overwhelmed, maybe even being hard on yourself. I really want to just bring some presence to you, um, let you know that you're not by yourself. You are not by yourself. And it's going to be okay, even if in this moment it doesn't feel okay. And so I wanted to just presence that. I also wanted to share a couple of messages that are just coming through that feel important to share. Sometimes when we're on our healing journey, it can feel like we are doing all of the things. We are eating our vegetables, and we're walking, and we're drinking water, and we're reading, and we're listening to podcasts and meditations. We're doing yoga. We have our oils right. We're doing all of these things. We are praying. We are begging God and the universe and all of the angels to support us, right, on our journey. And sometimes we can still feel overwhelmed. We can still feel high love. We can still feel like things are not moving forward. And we often feel like they should be. I'm doing everything right. We can be doing everything right. We can be doing all of the things and none of the things. And the truth is, there is a timing to certain parts of our healing journey, our recovery journey, our trauma informed journey. Some things don't land until they land. Some things don't make sense until they make sense. And some things we might not be able to make sense of on this side of heaven, right? Like on earth, we might not be able to make sense of certain things. And I really feel called to share that with some of you who are going through a challenging time for whatever reason, right? I want to remind you that the tide always has to turn. It cannot be a storm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for multiple years. Some of us have challenging years. I can attest to that. It's true. But the tide will eventually turn. And for some of you, your tide is really turning now. And it can feel really scary when we've been in this season of like stuckness and feeling stalled out and feeling like we have been in a cocoon. And like hibernation period, and to come out of that can also feel scary, right? Sometimes getting what we want can feel scary, and being afraid that we won't ever get what we want can feel scary. Sometimes life can be an interesting place, right? And I want to really speak today to this idea, this feeling really that nothing is working. That's been in my awareness today and this week. And I think it's true for the collective. It can feel like sometimes nothing is working no matter what we do. And thoughts and feelings are not always 100% fact. And it's important for us to challenge them with love and with awareness and with compassion, right? Of the part of ourself that truly feels like nothing's working. And so I invite you to do a little bit of EFT tapping with me. I invite you to follow along if you feel called to. it's important to note that I invite you just to ground into your wherever you are, whatever's holding you, your chair, your couch, your sofa, if you're in your car, not driving, but if you're just sitting in your car, whatever you're sitting on right now or standing on, ground and anchor into what's supporting you and just feel into that and know that you can come back to that at any time, that feeling of being supported. I invite you to ground into your heart. You can place a hand on your heart that might be helpful. You might notice your heart beating. You might breathe into your heart space. And we're just going to go through a couple of rounds. You can follow along with me if you're not 100% sure of the EFT tapping points. They're pretty easy, and your intention is everything. So you don't have to hit on them 100% in the exact spot. Your intention matters more than anything. So we're going to start with the side of your hand, karate chop, and we're just going to tap on the intention that we're taking 100% accountability for our experience and our own well-being. And we're going to set ourselves up with our setup statement. Nothing is working for me. Nothing at all is working for me in any area of my life. You can really ham this up if you want to. It might sound like nothing's working, everything sucks, I feel miserable. Why aren't things working? I'm just not having a good experience right now. Nothing's working. And then we're going to tap on our meridian points, and we're really going to speak to that. Nothing's working in my life, even though I'm trying so many things. I feel like I'm doing all of the things. I feel like I'm trying everything that I know to do. I feel like I'm spending time and money and energy. And then you want to tap your like rib cage for us women, where your bra would be, your bra strap on the side, your rib cage there. Nothing is working. Back to the top of head. I feel so frustrated that nothing's working. I feel like I've put so much time and energy into this. I feel like I've put my heart and soul into this, and it's not working. And maybe, just maybe, I like that this is not working. Maybe, just maybe, this not working is protecting me in some way. Maybe the fact that nothing feels like it's working is somehow helping me to not have to do the thing that I'm really meant to do, that I'm afraid to do, that if I actually do, it could actually work and I'd be even more scared. Maybe the fact that nothing works really helps me to stay hidden and safe. And maybe that sweet little kid inside of me is so scared and so overwhelmed by all that I'm trying to do that my nervous system freaks out every time I try and push myself out of my comfort zone. I wonder what it would be like, what it would feel like, what it would feel like in my body if I simply allowed myself to consider that maybe allowing things to work could be the gift that I give myself. I wonder that maybe if I allowed something, maybe not even everything, but something to work and allow that to gain momentum so that my system can get used to more things working and more things working and more things working at the exact same time without there being a crisis, without all hell breaking loose in my life, in my relationships, in my business, in my finances, in the world, right? What if I could simply allow myself thing that I actually feel called to do and everything could be a-okay? Maybe the world wouldn't shake. Maybe I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed if I put my time and attention and energy and resources into accepting and making peace that I deserve for everything to work out at the same time. And maybe the real challenge here isn't that I don't want things to work out. Maybe I don't feel like I deserve things to work out. Maybe it's because I feel like I would mess things up if things worked out, that I'm not worthy and deserving of things working out, that I'm simply not deserving in general, that I can't trust myself, that I can't be trusted, that I can't even keep my own affairs together. So, how can I show up for a business or clients or whatever your thing is? Insert your thing. I can't show up for this position. I can't show up for this new venture because I'm not organized, because I'm not good with tech, because my fridge needs to be cleaned out, because I need to take my car in for an oil change. All these reasons why I can't even keep my own crap together. So, how can I be trusted with all of these other things? Maybe a way that I protect myself is being hard on myself. Maybe nobody has everything together at the same time, all by themselves, without some kind of support. Maybe the human experience is not as simple and easy as we like to make it out to be. Maybe I'm just human. And maybe it's okay if I mess up. And maybe it's okay if I make a mistake. And maybe it's okay if things are not as seamless and effortless as I want them to look. Maybe the messy middle is a-okay. And maybe I can be safe showing up in the truth, the messiness of life. Maybe I can allow things to work out all at the same time. If nothing needs to be perfect, maybe I can allow things to work out if I just take everything step by step, day by day, one step at a time. Maybe that's actually what I'm being called to do. Maybe showing up in my own authentic power and trusting myself is the actual work. Maybe I've tried to keep this complicated and out of reach so that I would have a reason for it to fall apart, for it to not work out, for it to be complicated and not doable. Maybe it's so doable. Maybe it is so doable. I just need to choose to do one thing at a time and to start now because it's safe for things not to work out. and it's safe for things to work out? And what if I'm okay no matter how things turn out? Maybe my actual safety is not even in things working out or things not working out. Maybe my being okay has nothing to do with external circumstances that are outside of me. Maybe I can just determine for myself that all is well in my life, in my work, in my business, in my family, in my relationships. Maybe things just get to be okay because I decide it to be so. And even if the evidence doesn't show up to support that as quickly as I would like, maybe I can activate my faith and belief in standing on what I decide to be so until that's the reality that I'm living in. Complete any rounds that you're on. We say, so be it, and so it is. Breathe that in. You might move your body in a way that feels comfortable for you. Tap into how that's feeling for you. You may want to repeat for a few more rounds and really use the specific areas where you're feeling stuck or stagnant or stalled or like in sabotage. You might want to really tap through those sentences that really apply to you specifically. And you can repeat this anytime that you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed or like nothing is actually working. It can be helpful to bring that up, to get it out, to express it, and then to bring in the actual truth. And what I would leave you with is a practice that can be really helpful called compassionate self forgiveness, when we actually offer forgiveness statements towards ourselves, the situation, other people, right? When we actually lean into the following prompt: I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that everything needs to be perfect for it to feel like it's working out, when the truth is, nothing needs to be perfect. I am perfect. The work will always be in progress in any area of my life. It's okay for me to take things one day at a time and focus on my effort, how I'm showing up, and celebrating the steps that I'm taking and how far I've come. Another one might be, I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that I have been trying to sabotage myself because something's wrong with me. What if I have been trusting the timing? Nicole, you're so welcome, my love. What if I've been trusting the timing internally that a part of me just hasn't been ready or something hasn't been in alignment, when the truth is it is safe for me to trust myself, even if that means sometimes I need to wait until I decide. Sometimes I need to really fill into my own energy and see, what does something working look like and feel like. What if now the timing is not aligned, and that's okay? What if it's safe for me just to feel the discomfort of this moment and know that I am safe and held and supported, even if things don't feel okay, even if things feel really crappy in this moment? I trust that I'm held and that a source greater than me is supporting me through this, even in the painful moments. What if I'm willing to forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that I need to control how this all works out? What if we're safe in not being in control? because we're really not, right? Like, spoiler alert, we're not really in control. All we can do is the best we can do on any given day. And the truth is, it is so brave for a younger part of us to think that control could bring us more peace and more comfort, right? When the truth really is, sometimes the sense of control is just a false sense of safety. And it's okay. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just not always going to help us to feel safe when we're not able to access it. And so, what if we're able to simply breathe into the support that we have from God, source, universe, from this higher power that really is here for us all the time? Control doesn't fulfill the need for safety. Luana, yes, exactly. And safety can be created within yourself when we allow ourselves to tap into infinite presence, when we're able to really fill into um, the notion that we are held in every moment by a loving source that is love itself and that wants the absolute best for us in any given situation, even when our heart is breaking, even when life feels really hard, even when things are not working out the way that we think they should, even when we're knee deep or nose deep in grief and we feel like things just are terrible, right? No matter what it is, even when our hearts have so much joy that we're not sure how we can contain it all, right? We are supported in every moment. And when we can trust that, we start to create space to see how things might just be working out, even when it looks like they're not. We can begin to hold space for the part of us that was traumatized and that often leads from that place of not feeling safe and not feeling secure, and not feeling like enough and not feeling as though he or she or they are deserving of all good things when in fact we are, no matter what, because we were born worthy and nothing has changed. And even when we feel separate from our inherent worthiness, we can simply breathe into it and reconnect with it. We're only a breath away from tapping back into that sense of knowing and grounded awareness that we are inherently worthy of all good things, even if we've made a mistake, even if we've gotten it wrong. There's a path to making an amends and to starting anew, and to know that we can feel a feeling and it not be our truth. We can have a bad day and that not be the truth of who we are. We can feel sad and pain and hurt and know that it's not going to last forever and ever and ever, even if it feels like that in the moment. Breathe that in. I pray that this was helpful and beneficial for you. It's been on my heart to share all day, and so I wanted to make sure that you receive the messages. If this has been helpful for you, you can drop a heart. If you're on the replay, you can hashtag replay when you catch it. I'd love to know what you're taking away from today. Please be gentle with yourself and each other. And I will be back tomorrow for another heart talk. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon.